So I recently grabbed this collab pair of the Nike SB Dunk High and the 510 Skate Shop in this all-over fog camo print. I mentioned it in my review of this pair, but another camo dunk that has been on my short list to grab was the Realtree Camo mids from 2010. I've been actively trying to source a pair, and ultimately stumbled upon this pair that I'm about to show you from a seller on Grailed at a decent deal, so I went ahead and pulled the trigger. Starting with the box on here, these come in a blue Nike SB box, which is period correct when you consider the October 2010 release of this pair. Taking a look at the size tag, these are listed as a Dunk Mid Premium SB in the Dark Army Orange Blaze colorway. Just some more standard Nike SB stuff when you open the box, including the wood green paper and the additional set of laces. Finally getting to the sneakers, you'll see how unique they are compared to most other dunks with a sort of solid color blocking. Throughout the uppers is this detailed graphic of the Realtree Camo print on a heavyweight canvas material. These are listed as a premium, which is totally spot on. The canvas on here has a really strong feel to it and could certainly withstand the wear and tear of skateboarding, as that's what these shoes are intended to do after all. And for those of you that aren't familiar with the Realtree company, they're the company that specializes in creating this sort of photorealistic camo print for various outdoor products, most notably hunting. One of the complementing colors to this Realtree Camo print is this army green, and can be found at the smooth leather on the swoosh, the midsole, the tongue tag, and Kevlar set of laces. And to contrast all of that muted army green is the bright orange blaze color, which is outlined at the swoosh, at the inner liner, stitching on the midsole, the outsole, and the text on the tongue tag. The additional sets of laces here are in that same orange, but personally I think I'm going to stick with the army greens for now. I think the overall color choices on here are well done, and is the right balance between discreet and not being too loud. The camo print on the sneaker is a bit out there, but the colors are blended together in a way that you wouldn't entirely stick out in a crowd. Like any other SB Dunk, these utilize Nike's Zoom Air technology, which adds a great deal of comfort compared to other run-of-the-mill Nike sneakers. And in seeing the insoles, you get a glimpse of the Zoom Air at the bottom, as well as the Realtree Camo print up top. As far as fit goes on these, I would recommend getting your true Nike Dunk size. This pair in particular though, I went with my true foot size of 9.5. I usually tend to lean towards a 10 in dunks because I find them to be a bit snug, but the 9.5 was the deal at hand, and typically I don't have an issue with them being on the tighter side. Obviously these sneakers are for me, and I'm always between a 9.5 and a 10, so use my advice at your own discretion. As far as dunk silhouettes go, people tend to usually go for either the highs or the lows, but never really the mids. It's kind of like the ongoing Air Force One debate. People tend to obviously side with the lows and occasionally the highs, but really never the mids. This Realtree Camo mid is unique too, because many SB mids actually have a strap to them. So unlike say these Beavis mids that I have in my collection that have a strap, this pair of the Realtree Camo does not. On one hand, I'm not partial to the highs, lows, or the mids, and in that same way, I'm not partial to mids with a strap versus mids without one. Personally, I like the look of these strapless mids and think they'd look great in the summer with some crew socks and shorts. And then conversely, in the colder seasons, these sit at a good height and would pair well with a pair of darker wash jeans. So I remember these coming out in early high school. I believe I was a freshman or something like that. At the time, these served as the poor man's Reese Forbes Dunk Lows, which you may recall were released in 2004. That pair utilizes a Hunter Camo, which is slightly different from the Realtree Camo on this mid. Even then in 2010, those Reese Forbes Lows were impossible to grab at a reasonable price, so many found this mid to be a consolation prize to those. Fast forward a decade later now in 2020, I don't think many people are actively seeking out this blue box release. But for someone like me who remembers these and isn't too big of a fan of the recent camo printed dunks, this Realtree Camo mid is absolutely perfect. And correct me if I'm wrong too, but I think this might have been the first iteration of Realtree Camo on any Nike sneaker. Nowadays you've probably seen it on silhouettes like the Air Force Ones or the various Air Maxes utilize this Realtree Camo print, so it isn't anything new. But back in the day, especially for a dunk, these were definitely different. In grabbing those 510 camo dunks, this pair wasn't too high on my list of things to grab, But I did see them in gently worn condition off of the seller on Grailed at a reasonable price, and I couldn't pass it up. I think a fair price for these in general is anywhere between $125 and $175 depending on condition. And that's taking into consideration how inflated the SB market is right now. I've been grabbing a boatload of dunks recently, and like many other sneaker collectors, I find myself getting into a certain sneaker and then grabbing 1,000,001 pairs of them. If that sounds like you, my best advice is to just be patient and deals will come your way. But really, that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you think of this pair of the Realtree Camo mids. Are you feeling them? Or is this a dunk you'd pass on? I'd love to read all about it in the comments. If you like the content I've been putting out, be sure to let me know by dropping a like on the video and subscribing to the channel. I have a bunch of other dunk videos on the channel with even more to come, so definitely stay tuned. These videos do take some time to make though, so if you're looking to stay up to date with me, be sure to follow me on Instagram at StuffDylanLikes. That's a wrap for now though. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.